Chapter 1. The intriguing concept of reverse thinking.
Did you know that sometimes, to move forward, you need to start from the end? Welcome to the intriguing world of reverse thinking. It's a bit like reading a book from the last page, or watching a movie from the final scene. It's about visualizing the end goal and then tracing your steps backwards to where you currently stand. It's not about going back in time, but rather about crafting a path to success in reverse order. This might seem unconventional, even counterintuitive, but that's the beauty of it. In its uniqueness, reverse thinking opens up a realm of unexpected results and creative solutions. It's like an artist sketching an empty canvas before filling in the colors, or a writer penning the last chapter before the first. Sounds strange, right? But stay with me as we dive deeper into this fascinating concept.
Chapter 2. The Hiker's Paradox.
Imagine you're a hiker lost in a dense forest. With every step, the trees grow thicker, the trail becomes more obscure, and the sense of direction fades. The sun dips lower in the sky, casting long shadows that only deepen the disorientation. Panic starts to set in. But then, in this moment of despair, an idea sparks. Instead of thinking forward, you start thinking backward. You visualize the car parked at the edge of the forest, the starting point of your hiking. You remember the winding road that led you to the trailhead, the old oak tree with a scarred bark, the bubbling brook you crossed, and the hill you climbed. By thinking from the end to the beginning, you construct a mental map. You reverse engineer your journey. Instead of asking, "Where do I go from here?" you ask, "How can I get back to where I started from where I want to end up?" In this shift of perspective, you find your bearings. You recall the westward bend of the brook, the northern lean of the oak, the eastern rise of the hill. You align these landmarks with the setting sun, and suddenly the path becomes clear. You start to move, this time with purpose. Each step, each turn, each breath is guided by this reverse thinking. The once dense forest starts to thin, the obscure trail becomes familiar, and the sense of direction returns. Before you know it, the car parked at the edge of the forest comes into view. The experience is transformative. You have not only found your way out of the forest, but you've also discovered a new way to navigate challenges. This is the hiker's paradox. The more lost you are, the more you must think backward to find your way. It's a metaphor for life. When you're stuck, when the path forward is unclear, when you're lost in the dense forest of uncertainty, think backward. Just as the hiker found his way out, you too can navigate through life's challenges by thinking in reverse.
Chapter 3. The Mechanics of Reverse Thinking.
Now that you've got a feel for it, let's break down how reverse thinking actually works. Imagine you're standing at the foot of a massive mountain. Your destination is the peak. The traditional approach would be to start climbing, figuring out your path as you go. But what if instead you could imagine yourself at the top, looking down? This is the essence of reverse thinking. You begin with the end, your goal, and work backward to figure out how to get there. Envisioning the endpoint isn't just about wishful thinking. It's about painting a vivid, detailed picture of what success looks like. It's about knowing what you want to achieve, and more importantly, why you want to achieve it. This clear vision acts as your North Star, guiding your every decision and action. Now, standing at the top of the mountain, you can see all the obstacles that lie in your path. Perhaps it's a treacherous cliff, a dense forest, or a wide river. In the context of your goal, these obstacles could be lack of resources, lack of time, or lack of skills. Reverse thinking urges you to identify these barriers up front and not shy away from them. Once you've identified the obstacles, it's time to strategize. How will you overcome the cliff, navigate the forest, or cross the river? In other words, what resources do you need to gather? How will you manage your time? Or what new skills do you need to acquire? With reverse thinking, you're not just reacting to challenges as they come. You're proactively planning and preparing for them. Finally, reverse thinking fosters creativity. When you know your destination and the obstacles in your way, you're forced to think outside the box. You have to be innovative, to come up with unconventional solutions. It's a shift from the linear, step-by-step thinking we're often used to. It's like solving a maze from the end to the beginning. Instead of wandering aimlessly, hoping to stumble upon the exit, you start at the end and trace a clear path to the beginning. That's the power of reverse thinking.
Chapter 4. The Power of Reverse Thinking.
You might be wondering, why should I adopt this backward approach? Well, let's delve into the power of reverse thinking and its potential rewards. Imagine a world where every problem is a puzzle waiting to be solved, where every decision is an opportunity to explore new paths, and where creativity isn't just a skill but a way of life. This world is not some distant utopia. It's the reality you could create using reverse thinking. Firstly, let's consider problem solving. Traditional thinking often gets us stuck in a rut, going around in circles without making any real progress. But when we start at the end and work our way back to the start, suddenly the path becomes clearer. We see the steps we need to take, and we can plan our action accordingly. That's the beauty of reverse thinking. It provides a fresh perspective, a new way to tackle our challenges. Next up is decision-making. Every day we're faced with countless decisions. Some are small, like what to eat for breakfast, while others are life-changing, like choosing a career path. With reverse thinking, we begin with the end in mind. We visualize our desired outcome, and then we map out the steps to get there. This method can lead to more informed, confident, and successful decisions. And then there's creativity. Many of us have been conditioned to think within certain boundaries, to color inside the lines. But reverse thinking encourages us to break free from these constraints. It allows us to challenge the status quo, to question the norm, and to generate innovative ideas. It nurtures our creativity and fuels our imagination. In essence, reverse thinking can be a game changer in various aspects of life. It can enhance our career, enrich our relationships, and promote personal growth. It's not just about achieving success, but also about enjoying the journey, about learning, evolving, and thriving. With reverse thinking, you're not just thinking outside the box, you're redefining the box. So, why not give it a try? The benefits are there for the taking. It may be a backward approach, but it could lead to forward strides in your life. 9.
Chapter 5. Reverse Thinking in Action.
So how can you apply reverse thinking in your daily life? You might ask. Well, let's delve into that. Imagine you're tasked with planning a project at work. The conventional approach is to start at the beginning, right? You define your objectives, you set a timeline, you assign roles and responsibilities and so on. But what if you started at the end instead? Envision the finished project, the desired outcome. What does success look like? Now, work your way backwards. What needs to happen immediately before that final step? And before that? This can lead to a clearer, more streamlined plan, and potentially unearth innovative solutions that may not have been apparent from a forward-thinking perspective. Now let's consider a more personal example. Picture a conflict with a loved one. The standard approach might involve defending your position, trying to persuade the other person to see things your way. But what if you reversed your thinking? What if you started by trying to understand their perspective, their feelings, their needs? This might lead to more empathetic and constructive conversations and could help you find a resolution more quickly and effectively. Reverse thinking can also be applied to your personal goals. If you're aiming to lose weight, for instance, don't just think about the pounds you want to shed. Instead, visualize yourself at your goal weight. What habits do you have? What choices are you making? Once you can see this, work backwards to figure out the steps you need to take to get there. This approach may seem counterintuitive at first, and it's not always easy to shift your mindset in this way. But the more you practice, the more natural it becomes, and the rewards can be significant. Reverse thinking can lead to innovative solutions, faster progress, and unexpected success. In the words of ancient Chinese philosopher Lao Tzu, a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. But sometimes, to reach your destination, you need to start by envisioning the end of the journey, and then work your way back to the beginning. Remember, to move forward, sometimes you need to think backwards.
Chapter 6. The Takeaway.
We've journeyed through the forest, solved a maze, and redefined the box, all in reverse. Now let's take a step back and look at what we've learned. Reverse thinking, this unconventional approach, isn't just about going against the grain. It's about seeing the world through a new lens. It's about understanding that sometimes the path to success isn't always a straight line. It can be a winding road, a zigzag, or even a step back. The benefits of reverse thinking are manifold. It can help you break free from traditional constraints, encourage creativity, and foster innovative solutions. It can turn your challenges into opportunities, your obstacles into stepping stones. So how do we apply this in our daily lives? Start by asking what-if questions, challenge the norm, and don't be afraid to take the road less traveled. So, next time you're faced with a challenge, why not try thinking in reverse? You might be surprised at where it takes you. And that's a wrap for today's deep dive into reverse thinking and the backward law. I hope this video has demystified the concept and inspired you to consider a different approach to success. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for joining me on this journey of exploration. Remember, sometimes success isn't about pursuing more, it's about wanting less. Until next time, keep thinking differently, keep embracing the paradoxes, and I'll see you in the next video.